had been doing moonsaults off the top rope.
Oh my
God.
God.
I have implants.
Look at no one thinks so. Why? Why not?
I mean, I thought about it for a long while before I did it. I mean, I got a lot of uproar from the whole industry, but who are they to judge me?
Yeah, I mean, what are they?
They can all go to hell. They don't pay my bills.
No, you got a point.
And that's that.
Hello, happy Monday, and we are back. This is just such a nightmare because of this whole thing with Facebook. I'm still trying to figure out what the problem is with Facebook and why they will not let me stream live when I was able to before. But I wanted to thank everyone for hopping back on the ride. Today is Monday. It is a manic Monday. It is a crazy Monday. Hi, Darcy. Hi, everyone. I had a really great interview today with a very old friend of mine. Her name was Minaj Trois. She's from the 90s. She's another adult film girl. I'm pretty sure some of you might actually know who she is, who watched porn around that time. The gorgeous Darcy Diamond is in the chat tonight because she's also really good friends with Slava. So Slava is one of those people that I think like he's been around the business longer than I thought. And I first met him a while back when I worked at XPW Wrestling and we had the reboot and he was there. It was actually really cool. So it was nice to meet new people. And I guess he worked for XPW when I'd already quit working there the first time around. But, you know, history sort of repeats itself now and again. You know, what are you going to do? I'm getting ready to leave for Europe for the rest of the summer. So I'll still be going live when I can, but because of time constraints and certain hours, I may not be able to do anything specifically because this is actually really embarrassing. I'll be staying with my family. So I don't know how they'd feel about my madness and insanity at all different hours of the night or early morning, but I'm excited. Next Saturday, I will be in Scotland at Bleeding Gums, which I'm totally excited about. And then in August, we have the big event for Championship Extreme Wrestling in Braintree in Essex. I'm so done with Facebook. It's not even funny. Hi, guys. I hope everyone's behaving themselves. Yes, no, maybe. Okay, I hope so. So, yeah, if anyone ever figures out how this thing is, what this problem is with Facebook, why I'm not allowed to create a live video, that would be entertaining. I'm just so intrigued by it right now as to why I can't do this. Like, I know I was shadow banned on Twitter for some reason or another. I mean, go figure. I just got to say, I've decided to turn a new leaf. I'm going to be voting for Joe Biden this time. I have to vote for Joe Biden. I feel as though it's my moral duty to society to not have, to not vote for Trump again. So I will be voting for Biden this year. That's the truth. I know a lot of people are surprised by this choice, but I'm sorry. I love the comedy. Come on. There's got to be at least one other person out there in this world that loved it during the debates when Biden was saying, like, he finished his sentence with a moo, which was pretty hysterical. Let's hope the Championship Extreme Wrestling streams on IWTV. I will find out, obviously. I'm excited to work over there. And, you know, shout out to my Brits, to Leo Darwin, Tim Strange, Big Joe, Lou Nixon, and Franco Fate. All those really cool people. And some of those guys will be here this year. Yeah. So I'm not streaming to Facebook for whatever reason, because I guess I'm not cool enough. What's going on, everyone? Like, what's going on with our Mondays? Mondays just feel so weird, which reminds me, I'm just going to keep my Adam and Eve ticker going throughout the stream because Adam and Eve has been very good to me. So if you're looking to spice up whatever it is you want to in the bedroom, hop on over to adamandeve.com, put in the code CrazyTrain. That's crazy with a K. Get 50% off of almost, I don't know, any item there, plus 10 free gifts. So hop on over to adamandeve.com. Darcy, maybe there's stuff you could use for your show. I don't know. Why are people laughing because I said I want to vote for Biden? I think it's a really stupid idea. That probably wouldn't be in my best interest to do that. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on with this. Something's like, there's some really weird stuff going on with my StreamYard. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. You know, there we go. Now I'm back. Okay, now I'm happy. You see, now I'm totally happy because I have my backdrop. That's all I was hoping for. It's kind of a very, it's a weird Monday. I'll tell you that right now. Um, if any of you want to go ahead and hop on over to my TikTok, I'm back on TikTok, just under Jasmine St. Clair. I have a TikTok shop that's up there with a bunch of really cool shirts. Make arms great again, make abs great again, make athletes great again. Hey, Alan, how are you? Alan, I'll be in Scotland on Saturday. Hi, Robin. I'll be in Scotland for Bleeding Gums on the 20th of July. It's in Perth at the Ice Factory. Hi, Robin. How are you today, Robin? Robin, I don't know if I think I've seen you somewhere, but yeah, if anyone in Scotland is free on Saturday, the 20th, I will be there live at the ice bar. Yeah. Or the Ice Factory in Perth. So I'll be wrestling there. Hey, Darcy, how are you? So, okay, so I'm thinking that Robin might be another normal person, another performer, which is good. So there's nothing wrong with people that are non-performers that hop on here. Just sometimes I know that we get different people. I had Minaj Trois on the show earlier, who was a lot of fun. She has a seriously very incredible tongue. It's like 6.5 inches long from the back to forward, or was it longer than that? It was a lot longer, but yeah, she has a very huge tongue. So Darcy, I'm pretty sure that you might know about this. Yeah, okay, Robin. I think I've heard about you from Slava. Slava talks about all his girls. So a lot of people wonder who Slava the Russian Viking is. He's a good man, he's a good person. He's done a lot for the girls. Girls have done work for him. Any girl that works with Slava that is actually professional and not a shit show, go somewhere in the adult business. I think he gave a platform to a lot of the girls who were in the more alternative side, tattoos, piercings. A lot of people know Darcy Diamond. She has the tattooed black eyes. And what the fuck is up with Kat Von D thinking she's cool, like the alt erotic models? Like all of a sudden she's getting the blackout tattoos. Like, do any of these girls even, like, what do you guys think of Kat Von D, Darcy? Like, I'm curious now. And yes, Alan, it'll be my first time in Scotland. So I'm going to go up to Loch Ness for the day. I don't know if the bus trip that day will get me home in time to do my live stream, but I planned it for like a month now. I don't know if it'll get me back to the hotel in time to do the live stream. If I could live stream from Loch Ness, then yeah, that'll be great. Hi, Jamal. How are you, sweetheart? Happy Monday. I don't know about people blacking out tattoos. Like, why would you black out tattoos? Thank you, Ken. Yeah, she's a fucking... Okay, so Kat Von D, here's the funny thing. She thought it was so hot and cool when Jesse James, like, cheated on Sandra Bullock. Then he turns around and does the same thing to her. Duh. And then you want to get your tattoos blacked out. Well, what kind of bullshit is that? Like, what minutia is that you want to black out your tattoos? That's like art. And exactly, you put money and time into it for years. So why would you cover up your tattoo? Because now you're Christian? With the amount of money you made, how about just going in and getting it covered up? I mean, getting it lasered off, if that's what you want. The trend. Let's talk about trends. Now I'm going. This is like it. Let's talk about trends, folks. Transgender children in Hollywood that belong to celebrity moms. They're not a fucking Louis Vuitton handbag. It's like a trend. And then if they're adopted and a totally different ethnicity, that's an even bigger trend, Jamal, I just thought of you earlier. Minaj Trois was on the podcast. It comes out in a couple of Wednesdays from now. I think we talked about her once before. But yeah, getting back to trends. transgender kids as your children, that's a trend. And it's a really dangerous one. Because now we're opening the doors for like so many other things that you know, shouldn't be there. No one should have that at all. Yeah, you have my tattoo, Paul. Thank you. Okay, so Ken's saying now that there's a new record that we're only 10 minutes into the podcast and I was talking about trends because yes, we were fucking talking about trends, bro. That is why I brought it up. And this is why it came up. Ken thinks I have some kind of a mental problem because I post cat videos. Then he told me that there are no cats at the gym, but yet I see AI cats all the time, like on my stuff. So I don't know what he's talking about. So yeah, he said he's been to Planet Fitness for many years. He's been a member for quite some time, and he's not seen one cat in the gym. So somehow I just think I think he's lying to me. I think he's just saying that to be rude and be mean and whatever, and not understand that. Hey, Knockness, how are you? Nickness, whatever your name is, are you Scottish by any chance? Celebrities with trans kids is the equivalent of sacrificing their kids. Sure, it is. It is, and it's also a trend, and it's just like you want to be the mom that has that. Yeah, Darcy. So Paul has the tattoo of me on his arm. He's I've known him for many years. Hey, Charles, how are you? Yeah, you keep saying the same thing, but it's just like whatever. Hold on, we're here. I think he clicked the wrong link. Okay, nope. Here's the link. Okay. So I've got to get Slava in on this thing right now. Sometimes these streams, a lot of things can go wrong. Like what can go wrong will go wrong. So I'm just going to go ahead and send him this this new one. Invite guest, copy. All right, there we go. So here you go, Slavska. All right, there we go. I know, right? Tell me about it, but it's okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is with Ken and Paul, but I think there's some kind of a weird bromance going on. But anyway, the state of wrestling. I had a really fun time having Disco Inferno on my podcast because I always thought he was really hot, but I just didn't want to say anything because it's embarrassing. You can't tell these guys that they're hot. You really cannot. And, when you tell them they're hot, then they think all these weird things, But it was great seeing Drake Wirtz wrestling. It was great seeing a lot of guys that I work with in other places. But most of all, it's been really good working other places like X Brand Wrestling, H2O, and now I'm going over to Scotland and the UK to work there. So, the pasta fucking abilities are endless. So let's welcome to the show the star maker, as I call him, the Russian Viking, is good. Russian Viking good.
How's it
Oh,
going?
there you are. Oh my God. Oh, and you have the hat on.
How's it how's it going?
Oh, good. I'm just catching up. I had Menage Trois on my Menage Trois. She was from the 90s. She was on my podcast earlier.
Menage Trois. That sounds so familiar.
Dude, she had that. She has the Gene Simmons tongue.
Oh, it's that long?
Yeah, longer, I think. And she's African American. So she lives in Texas now. We're talking, and she convinced me to vote for Biden this upcoming election. So it's been a really great day.
She must have a lot of influence.
Yeah, that tongue, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
But she was at an AVN award show once with Gene Simmons in the same room.
Uh-huh.
And they compared tongues. Hers is bigger.
I actually worked on the X show, and Gene Simmons was one of the guests. And man, that guy's high maintenance.
Really? What happened? Did he not want you around him unless he had his makeup and wig on? Like, what was the deal?
Well, it was, I guess, kind of like that. Basically, like he wouldn't come on the show until he saw the videographer's reel. That's what I heard. I mean, like I was just the crew guy, but the producers kept complaining that he was just high maintenance and obviously very flirty with the girls. I mean, the typical Gene Simmons thing, I guess, and yeah. So and he wouldn't come out. He literally wanted to see the reel of the videographer that was on the show, which is ridiculous. The guy's on a cable network show, lighting it. He's there for a reason, but yeah.
Oh yeah, and someone says that her favorite demon child is here, and Robin is in here as well. Jamal says hi. Paul, a bunch of people are saying hi. Yeah, so everyone's in here. So you have a lot of people that love you. I've never met Robin before, but that's that whole thing, Gene Simmons. So getting back to that, he was at the Troubadour or at the Roxy once, or Key Club. And he did not allow, they're doing behind the scenes stuff for some Kiss video. And he would not allow anyone to tape him unless, he had his wig on first or his makeup, whatever it was. But that's kind of creepy though, because there are going to be girls out there who don't know who Kiss is. Okay.
Right.
And when he starts getting weird and creepy with these young girls, it's just a matter of time before he gets like a Me Too or a sexual harassment lawsuit. No,
that's literally what happened to Ron Jeremy. Was that the new girls just because the old school people are like, it was just Ron. He's like, you just push him away, he'll fall asleep on the couch. But the models who don't know who he is, they're like, who's that old creepy fat guy that's trying to like finger my butthole while I'm trying to sign pictures? Allegedly.
Yeah, see, I never had the honor of him fingering my butthole. He's grabbed my tits a few times, like with my clothes on, because I never worked with him. And I'd always tell him to just like, come on, Ron, stop. And he'd leave me alone.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's like you literally just tell him to lay off and he lays off. So
yeah, thank God. Same thing with Chris Jericho. Like they're young girls that were Monster Energy ambassadors. They didn't know who he was, and he's being flirty. So this is what I heard is that HR had to have a talk with him about that.
Well, and then AEW have a couple of issues recently.
Oh, really?
Well, with him, yeah, because like some wrestler girls came out, and I don't know. It's
Chris Jericho, dude. I would totally have sex with him. In fact, Chris Jericho, I appreciate the $2,500 you gave Necro Butcher. I would love to rub oil on your back.
I actually have video. I'm never gonna post this, but it's one of my really good friends who's a porn star in the industry. Years ago, we were hanging out, and we were just hanging out at Jerry's Deli in Chatsworth, and we're just talking, and I just asked her like, "Hey, have you banged any celebrities?" And she threw out Jericho's name like that, and I'm like, "Whoa!" She goes, "You can post it if you want." I'm like, "No, I will never post it." I don't know how many years ago was that. I don't know if he was married back then, not married. He's got whatever he's got going on, not my business. But yeah, she like threw that name out, boop, but without like, boop.
Okay, well, yeah, $2,500. I was talking to Veronica Kane. I said, "What do you think he should get for $2,500? Should he get a blowjob at least?"
I think he should get like a double BJ from two like legendary porn stars.
I'll let Veronica know. Hey, Veronica, if you're, I think he might be too clean cut looking for her. So I'll offer the blowjob to Chris Jericho. So Chris Jericho, I'm offering you a blowjob because of that donation.
Wait. Didn't somebody donate 5,000 though?
Yeah.
You probably would have more fun with him than with Jericho. What did you get for $5,000? I mean,
it depends what he looks like. So
you know what he looks like. You know who it is.
It was Nick Nemeth.
Are we allowed to say his name? Yeah.
Yeah, he's hot. I know his brother though, because we took improv together, and he came to my one woman show. Yeah, I think he can get more than a blowjob for $5,000. Maybe like I'll cut his hair, or like I could oil his back as well. Fuck it. I would just do him.
Yeah, I don't think that $5,000 is even a question, right? It doesn't even matter.
No, but it was very nice what he did. Now you have been so busy, like since January. I see you on a boat with all these gorgeous girls. I'm like, look at Slava living the life. What is going on with you since January? Because it's been a lot, and I know you're photographing and wrestling still.
It's been honestly in the last, I would say, a little over a year, when I kind of got over my being a little crybaby. Yeah. It just kind of exploded. Because once you open up the doors and windows and the floodgates just come in of people wanting to shoot not being restricted who you can shoot, how you can shoot, and it just kind of exploded from this year. Almost 80 models already shot, different models, which is a lot. I mean, it's only been half a year, and it's not like I decided to start counting because in 2022 I shot maybe like 20 different models because I was just kind of like, like, don't shoot that person, whatever, So, but then once it got comfortable, then we just opened up the floodgates. We started getting very, very creative, and doing the wrestling stuff. So it all kind of goes in hand because let me tell you something. I've been talking to new models recently and showing them deathmatch stuff that we've been shooting, and every single one is beyond interested. One, she's from Canada. It's so interesting. So I was talking to her, and she's like, "I've never even heard of this." So I sent her some videos and pictures from some of the shows that we've done, and she's like, "I want to go check this out." And then, unbeknownst to me, today she sends me videos of her doing suspension, and I'm like, "Oh, all right." So she hangs by hook. So a deathmatch stuff for her is like, cup of tea. So um, it's been a lot. We've with Alterotic just opened up the doors for other people to start creating with us and directing. So because we have a DVD deal, I mean, DVD sales are dead, but to have the tangible DVD is priceless. Like for directors and models who get on box covers. It's an opportunity that most alt models will never get because DVDs are dead. Most companies don't shoot alt models. With us, we have a DVD deal, and I mean, this year we are putting out 10 DVDs, and it's a lot. We just won. Did you say Robin's in there? If it's Robin Coffins, her movie just won Neon Vampire, won Best Feature at All Star Awards. Our Ink Motel won Best Gonzo. So we're just kind of like growing, and it's an overload. It's an overload, but it's a fun overload because a busy mind can't get you in trouble. So it's a very busy mind and a very busy body. But yeah,
No, it's true, but you're busybody in a good way, like because you're staying busy. It's really crazy because like everyone thinks that you and I, oh well, they're gonna do. It's like no, we have like 5 million other things to do out there.
yeah,
I'm getting ready to leave for Europe for a while. I'm wrestling over there.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do my streams every Monday that I want to, but I'm gonna try because next Monday or that Monday after the show, I'm going to Loch Ness for the day.
You going to Loch Ness? Are you gonna go hunting for the Loch Ness monster? Is that what's happening?
Well, so the show is on Saturday. It's for Bleeding Gums in Perth, Scotland. So
Mhm.
then the plan is I'll just relax like on Sunday and go to like Johnny Walker for like a whiskey tasting. Then Monday I have to be up at 6 in the morning to go
Mhm.
up to Loch Ness and then take like a hike. You go walk around. If I
Oh,
see him, I see him. Maybe I'll just like end up living in Loch Ness. I'll get kidnapped by the Loch Ness monster.
that's right. Oh, before we go on, before I forget, at the end of the show, I have an announcement to make that
Are
I don't
you
want to say. Huh?
are you pregnant?
Close, but no. It's something that happened recently in the last couple of days. So
Okay, that's
I
fine.
figured like save it for the end of the show, not the beginning of the show. So
I just want to make sure that like you're not pregnant or something crazy isn't going on. All right, good.
no, no.
No, I'm glad. Okay. So how do you get a lot of the girls that collaborate with? Were they just starting to blow up your inbox when they saw that you had this creative freedom now? Or is it like Darcy telling this person, Robin telling this person? Like, how did that work out?
It's a combination of both. Once like like the wings were spread and we started shooting really creative stuff and posting it. It's like once you start channeling like either sad energy, negative energy into positive energy, then it just kind of snowballs. Where I just literally was like, well, I'm just going to concentrate on what I need to get done and do creative stuff and spread the wings with other talent. And we started posting so much that yeah, the DMs just exploded. And then yeah, there's a handful of models that help out with recruiting girls. Robin does, Darcy does, uh and then recently TT Ramon's like recruited like a dozen girls. It's been like and tattoo artists. I'm constantly like, hey, check this one out. Hey, I talked to this one on the phone. Hey, check this one out. And so it's been actually a very productive last couple of months. Like in the last week, I've probably talked to 6 brand new models that are going to come in and start shooting. And the hard part is, with every model, you have to explain to them what we do, how we do, then you also have to get to know them. So it becomes an overload of information where you almost like feel like you have to take notes, who's who, and who's no lists or what, whose do's and don'ts are, and what part of the world they live in. But it's pretty exciting because with Urban X Awards coming up next month, as a family unit, we have 25 nominations, award nominations, which is huge. So we're planning on having a big turnout at the event. I'm also brand ambassador for a company called Shrunk 3D, where they scan your body and they make little action figures out of you.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
so
I
they're
like.
going to be at Urban X Awards. So whoever, like, let's say wins, they could go and get scanned in their award show attire with their trophy. So there's just like a lot going on. Plus, talking about wrestling, I've been hit up by so many promotions to come and shoot.
Yeah.
It's and East Coast ones too, which is very, very interesting. So um, it's a lot. It's a lot. I take days off where I have to like just be a potato on the couch, and like in the last couple of days, I binged watched Vikings Valhalla on Netflix, and I went through two seasons like in 2.5 days. It was a lot of sword fighting and a lot of man energy for 2.5 days. So, but it's going good. It's exciting because it's only like halfway through the year and we already got so much accomplished. So
Yeah, it really is. I'm glad. I hope you come out to X Brand or to H2O, any of those shows that I'm on. It's going to be another promotion I'll probably start working for on the East Coast. I'm not talking about it yet, but with God willing and the way things have been going, it's looking good. Like a few months ago, it wasn't really an option
mhm.
because
Now
I
it,
think when you get out of toxic relationships, you kind of like you're not really damaged in a way, but you get out of the toxicity and the toxicity sort of follows you. Then once that's gone, like doors start opening more, which is super important,
it
Uh yeah.
I'm sorry. It's funny you say that because I'll give you an example of me, an adult, with when you come from one company to another, and the toxic energy that follows you, not necessarily because you choose it, it's just kind of like attached to you, and you have to like wash it off. When I worked for Extreme Associates, I went over to Anabolic,
Yeah.
and Extreme had a bad reputation, which is crazy because actually at Extreme we treated girls right, and we treated girl like every girl that came in, like, this is what we shoot. If you're comfortable, shoot. If you're not, then you're welcome to leave. But people outside the company just looked at Extreme as like, oh, they're up for obscenity. It's this and that. It's not that. All that bullshit. So when I started working for Anabolic, my first movie I directed for Anabolic, I got these horrific reviews. And a couple of the reviews were like, well, Ivan comes from Extreme Associates, so he must hate women. Like literally, there were the reviews, and one of my co-directors, Tony T, reached out to one of the reviewers and he said, if I see you at any of the conventions, I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm like, well, I appreciate like the support, but you don't have to. And so yeah, it depends who you're. It's very important who you're associated with because it does taint you in some ways or help you in many ways. That's why like I mentor a lot of the new girls and I always tell them, go, look, birds of a feather flock together. It's if you're hanging out with one shit show, most likely you're a shit show. If you're hanging out with positive people, most likely you're a positive person. And it really is like that. People might not say it, but they will look and they will judge. And that's just kind of how it is. And it's like that in any business, really, and in life in general. Meth heads are not going to be hanging out with millionaires, right? Unless the millionaires are meth heads, and most
Yeah,
likely.
unless they're paying them too by the hour overnight or something. But meth head, when you're a meth head, how much money do you have? Because meth is a cheap drug, I think, right?
I think I've the only time I've ever been around meth, I was shooting in Beverly Hills, and the girl went in the bathroom for like half an hour. We're like, she needs to come out, so we can get her out of there. I go in the bathroom to pee. I almost passed out. I was like, "What is that smell?" And the other girl goes in there. Oh, she was like cooking meth in here. I'm like, "What? What is even? I don't even know what that is." But yeah, yeah. So I think it's cheap, and it's obviously it does some wonderful damage on you. So.
Well, that's interesting about meth because I'll tell you my first encounter with it. I've never done that stuff. I had no clue what it was. I was with Annabelle Chong. And for those of you who don't know who Annabelle Chong is, she was the original record holder for the world's biggest gangbang. It was an Asian girl. And, I see all these ads with her. And that's how I got the idea to do a gangbang to outdo her. It was my idea. So I finally get to meet her. And we were under contract with the same company. So we went to New York to do Geraldo Rivera's show. Okay, great. So we had to share a hotel room, and I don't like, you're cool, you're fine sharing rooms with you and like some people, cool. But this girl was locked in the fucking bathroom for over an hour in the bathtub. And I had no clue. So I call up John T-Bone. He was the one who brought us there. Oh, I think she's doing drugs right now, Jasmine. Okay, well, I don't do this shit, man. I'm not down with this shit, and it smells really weird. I just banged on the fucking door, and she wouldn't open it. So finally, I just broke the door down at a hotel in New York.
Holy.
I mean, the smell was incredible, you know. So then it explained her teeth. Now, this guy's asking about John Doe. The only incident I've had with him was when I was hooking up with him for VSDA in Vegas. We were fucking around all weekend long. Now, this is the hypocrisy of me. About a year later, he wanted to work. He was in a scene with, he was supposed to work with me for Extreme. He didn't have his test, so I didn't work with him. I didn't work with him because he didn't have his test, but yet I was screwing his brain. He was screwing my brains out all weekend in Vegas. Did you ever meet John Doe?
No, didn't he kill himself? Right? He killed himself, right? I think he did. No, am I wrong?
No, he's dead, but I don't know if he killed himself.
Oh, I thought I know there was a guy that used to work. Maybe there was a performer that started working for Anabolic, and he was living like in their attic or some shit, and then he like blew his brains out. Was it John Doe? I'm trying to remember who it was. It might have been. I know Anabolic had listened to this story. So Anabolic had an editor.
Yeah, he hung himself.
And this editor wanted to kill himself, so he goes up to the top of the building. That's only like 2 stories high, and he jumps off. So now that he hates his life so much, he tries to kill himself. But what does he do? He breaks both his legs. So now he hates his life even more. I don't know whatever happened. I know he wound up living and having like, you know, a couple of limps here and there, but Anabolic, that was a, you know, people are always like, oh, Extreme. I'm like, no. When I worked for Anabolic, that was volatile and toxic, beyond toxic. It was one of the top directors when I first started working there. Goes, man, you think you just like left hell and you're going to heaven? No, man, the grass is not greener on this side. And I found out. Man, we had people buying shotguns to protect each other from. It was, yeah. My brother bought a shotgun to protect himself from another director. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was.
Wait a second, a porn. These guys. Why would you need a gun to protect yourself from another protector? I can understand if someone makes threats to you, like physically. Yeah, you need guns.
That's what it was. That's what, well. The problem was there was a director who he actually worked for Extreme. I don't know if he worked with you. Do you remember Wanker?
I know the name, but I never worked with him. No.
So Wanker wound up he was at Extreme. He was the webmaster, and then he wound up working for Diabolic. And this dude, I mean, the stuff he made the girls do, all the stories I've ever heard about this guy, he was a piece of shit. And am I allowed to swear?
You can say anything you want to. Yes, this is very.
Okay, so he was a big piece of shit, and he because of him, his girlfriend OD'd and died. So,
oh my God.
Well, this is a crazy story. So he used to post like really like he used to edit and call. There was a director, Tony T, and he used to make fun of Tony for being Muslim, and so it just kind of backfired on him because Tony threatened everybody, and rightfully so, because it was really like disrespectful stuff that he was saying about him. Well, Wanker eventually. This Haley was, I forget her last name. Haley was his girlfriend. She won a Bodine. He dropped her off at ER and took off.
Oh.
So when the cops went to question him, they put him up in a hotel, or he put himself in a hotel. It was something to that effect. The next morning, he was dead. He was the 2 stories where he either hung himself or he was dead with a Bible on his chest.
A Bible?
Yeah, either way, I don't think he's where the Bible goes because of what he did. So. What's that, Slava? Who are some of your favorite wrestlers? We're shooting for the deathmatch. Who my favorite wrestlers that I've shot? Oh my gosh. Okay, when I came on, you talked about Drake.
Yeah.
The reason I like Drake is because I watched him with young referees backstage at the Jersey shows, because Jersey had a lot of the newer referees.
Yeah.
And the way he mentored them and talked to them how to position themselves, it was really, really cool. The one part that really stood out for me was before one of the I think it was the match he had with Schlack, the death match of the year. He before going out there, he went like because I would have the setup there. He would go behind the curtain and he was talking to his kids, which is really endearing because he was like, "Oh, I love you all," whatever, like obviously he's going to go out there and have a war with Schlack, so he needed to talk to his kids beforehand. And then also in LA, his last show with XPW. I helped him put the elbow pads on because, unbeknownst to us, he had a broken back. He was shaking and he didn't have feeling in his hands, so he kept asking me to put the gloves on. We actually had a really good, like, heart-to-heart talk a few times. I love Schlack. Schlack's always been incredibly gracious, always thank yous, always hellos. He, if when you think deathmatch, Schlack looks
Yeah.
like fucking deathmatch. I mean, like as deathmatch as it comes. The British dudes, Big F and Joe and Lou Nixon, they were both my roommates in Jersey, and I bonded with those guys quite a bit. Um,
They
incredibly polite, and giant men. Um, the one person, Necro, that always would stand out to me just because the funny thing is he's younger than me, but
I know.
yeah, but he talks to me like he's my dad. Like there are times where he's like, him and I sat down. He like lectured me about women. I think the first time we actually like sat down and talked was with all my personal shit hit the fan,
Yeah, I remember
and we were in Jersey, and I was rooming with Big Joe, and he was next door at Necro's room. So when I got to my room, Joe goes, "Come over, so just hang out with us." So as soon as I walked in, Necro looks at me, and the first thing goes, "Oh man, I saw what she did to you. Oh, hey, come over here." And so he wanted me to drink with him and smoke weed with him, and I don't do either. So I just kind of like just passed it along, passed it along. Um, the whole locker room, everybody in there is so welcoming. Who else was the deathmatch guys? Gosh, what's flattering to me is when the new guys would come in or the guys that haven't been, around before, they would come up to me. They're like, "Hey, I can't wait to take pictures with you,"
Yeah.
which to me is such a compliment because I work my ass off. I mean, like I'm the only photographer that would travel across country with two giant luggages of backdrops and lights and stands and remote control for lights and legit cameras, GoPros, all kinds of stuff. And because to me, it was about making the product as best looking product as possible. And so when the new guys would come in, JJ Allen, JJ
Yeah.
Escobar, he, you know, I'm not even afraid to say this. He looks like a douchebag. He's fucking not. Like he looks like Marky Mark, But you talk to him, he's super grounded, super cool, and um, yeah, those guys. I don't want to like miss anybody. I'm trying to think who else was there.
Lindsay.
Oh, Masada. Masada.
Lindsay.
What was that?
Lindsay.
Yeah, I was gonna go guys first, but yeah. But Masada and I've had a lot of good talks. Lindsay Snow was one of my favorite. Her and Ludark only. Oh, and Mickey because they have camera presence. They know like, and they would all tell me like, especially like Mickey. She would like ask me where I'm putting my GoPro because I used to hang it up on ropes so she could go and stick her ass on the camera. That's literally what she would do. Um, Lindsay was the first female wrestler that actually called for me to get the shot. I thought she was flirting with me when she was like Slava. So I'm like, ooh, and then
Maybe she
I'm like,
was.
no, she was about to stab. I forget who the wrestler was. She was about to stab her in the head, so she was trying to get my attention to get the shot. And Sage, I love Sage. Sage
Yeah.
is a wonderful person. The stuff she did and the sacrifices she made for XPW, priceless. I mean, like when she had her skin peeled back so you could see her skull, it was a lot.
Oh
And
my God. Oh God. I almost got sick to my stomach thinking of that again. I was in the
yeah,
dressing room that night when that
yeah,
happened.
she when
Oh
she was
God.
running upstairs to do the pictures after the match, she yelled for me like, "Let's go, let's go, let's go!" And when I wasn't sure why she was so anxious to get the pictures, when I went up there and started taking the pictures and saw the anxiety in her eyes and the fear, I got emotional. Like I literally, when she walked away, I had to compose myself because knowing her as a person, knowing her as a mom, knowing her as a loving wife to Kyle, and seeing that with them, it was a lot because this is the one thing I like. Once in a while, I'll post on on message boards about. Like, let's not forget these are human beings. Let's not forget these people don't get paid shit to entertain us and put their bodies on the line And yeah, we might want to bring cool weapons there, but you got to remember these are human bodies taking these weapons. So I learned first California, the first show, I brought a big giant disco ball and a crazy glued thumbtacks to it, and I brought it to the back. And luckily, the guys were like, "We're not using this. Did you hollow it out?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "We're not using it because it's going to hurt us." And I was like, "Oh well, good to know." Like, and so uh, yeah, Lindsay, Lou Dark, Mickey, and Sage, female wrestler wise. I mean, there's the ones that came in for like a couple of shows. Tessa Blanchard, I love Tessa Blanchard.
Great.
Um, at one point, she's like, "You should fly to San Antonio and do pictures." I'm like, in a heartbeat. Like she's wonderful. Chelsea Green was great. She was there for one show, and I've been a huge Chelsea Green. She just took that crazy bump in at the was it Money in the Bank on WWE? It was a couple of
Oh,
nights
the
ago.
blonde?
She's what's his name? Matt Cardona's wife.
Oh, we had a bunch of pretty girls at that show. Beautiful Disaster. All those girls were great.
Yeah,
I remember.
yeah. Ty Valkyrie's like every time I've been around her, incredibly professional, incredibly wonderful. Um, yeah, there's been a lot. I've actually thought about putting together a whole collage of all the women I shot in XPW, which would be
Yeah.
really cool. And that look at like just kind of like post them and maybe even do like a little coffee table book, which could be kind of cool, like women of XPW or whatever. Or women of Deathmatch would be really cool. So
Yeah,
something
and
like that.
extreme women of extreme wrestling, probably. And that's the thing is, I forgot to say, anyone that sees my promo photos out there, it's always been it's been Slava's photos. So advance thank you, but apologies because now your photos are at X Brand Wrestling because I work with them too.
You know, you know,
Promo.
I actually had somebody reach out to me from that part of the country, and they might be associated with X brand to possibly do stuff, which I would love to.
You have to because you should come out to our show at the Shelter August 31st or even October for H2O. You should come out because I work with them pretty close. So um, I would love to see you there, and everyone hears about you. Plus, like you're the only photographer aside from Mike Servino from Kings Road Wrestling. You're the only person out there. Like you have the goggles, you have the gloves, you have the protection that I wish I could wear to the ring, and I can't wear it.
Speaking of protection, I see somebody ask about the Masada burn
Yeah,
incident.
how close were you? Because I remember
I
that night. That was
I
scary.
was like literally, if you watch any of the TMZ videos, or I'm literally right there. So, um, when Drake walks by, now when Masada walks by me to get whoever is Drake, he's tracing Drake.
Great.
He like literally like singes my legs with a because he's got the torch, and then when he catches on fire, he runs right by me, and I'm trying to take pictures. I'm like, oh my god! And Drake's on the ground, grabbing my legs, punching me, going, "Get the water! Get the water!" I'm like, "Get the water!" Like but I have a GoPro that rolls on my still camera the whole show. I have footage from that, and I've never showed it. I've never posted it. I hit up Masada and said, "Look, I have footage of from my camera that's literally right there. You could hear Drake screaming at me, 'Get the water! Get the water!'" Um,
Jesus.
I I never used it out of respect to Masada. I told him, "I go look, I will never use it because I'm not trying to get any kind of publicity out of this. I'm not trying to make any money off of this. I'm definitely not trying to get any clout out of it because there was a serious moment and." The footage is insane because he walks right by me in my camera. And then you hear Drake because my camera goes on. You could hear Drake and see him hitting me, going, "Get the water, get the water." And I've never used it. Masada's all like, "Hey, if you sell it, just give me a piece of the pie." I'm like, I'm not trying to sell it. I'm not trying to cap it. Maybe I'll post it one day. Maybe I'll, he doesn't even have it because I haven't even showed it to anybody. I just have it on my hard drive. So
Yeah, the whole thing was crazy. I mean, like a couple of weeks ago, so when I worked at X Brand, it was my first X Brand show, my first time working with North Korean Assassin. So I always got set up with legends. I decided to keep working with Pondo because he and I have an existing working relationship in Japan. Everything was great. First of all, like being a fire eater myself, it's always Roncinol lighter fluid. I've used that since the 90s. And also I worked as a magician's assistant. So I've seen a shit ton of stuff go bad. Nobody was there with the bucket of water. Nobody was there with the fire extinguisher, like right there. In Japan, they have people all around with buckets of water. he freaking caught on fire. I showed you the photo visually. I freaked out. I'm like yelling for water. Finally, the guy gets up there. Now, he goes in the back at the show. Danny DeMonto's there. He's like, yeah, you fucked up his back really bad with the Singapore cane. And I've never heard anyone, from what I understand, or at least that I know of. And I thought I fucked up his back. No, all of the stuff is like his skin is singed. He's getting skin grafts now. He's in the hospital 2-3 weeks later with this. They took down his GoFundMe, by the way. So if anyone goes on Deathmatch Elite, look for the post where we've made. It's for his Cash App and his Venmo if you want to donate directly to North Korean assassin, because that's a long time to miss work, and he's got a family. Funny conversation prior to that match was about health insurance, and I tell all wrestlers, when you go overseas, pay the $50 for the insurance or the $100. Look what happened in Echo Butcher.
Yeah. The stuff these guys go through, it's funny because when, like I was telling you before, when I show these videos to girls who've never seen it, they're like, I thought this was fake. I go, no. I'm all like, this is why when you go to the show and you see how violent and rough it is, you either like turned off by it, but most people are turned on by it because it's such a rush to see that, to hear that, to sounds. And death matches, the smell. Oh my gosh! For the first time I shot a death match, just the smell of iron and and backstage, that's when it.
Sweat and iron. Like, I'm used to the smell of swamp ass now. So when I worked for Primos in Colorado, where was I? I was in Colorado working for Primos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, where are all the like gross, sweaty, like where are the real sweaty guys with all the blood and all that shit that haven't like bathed in 3 or 4 days? Instead, I get like Richard Holiday and all these other guys. I'm like, oh, okay, this is an easy night for me. This is nothing. I don't have any glass. I don't have any glass in my skin or my hair. What the fuck? So I'm hoping at Bleeding Guns we make up for this. It's me and this managing Tim Strange. He's like a British cowboy against Big Joe. So it'll be fun. Now there's a guy in here named Colby. Colby, I've seen you before on Deathmatch Elite. So RPW seems to be a really great company. I was supposed to actually work there, so I don't know what happened. But he thought maybe you might have, if you've ever thought about working for them, they seem to have the most diverse roster and always kill it. Yeah. I mean, that's always, someone will reach out to you. They run on the East Coast as well. H2O would be good as well. Matt Tremont's company.
That one would be cool, and the one with the chains, just because visually it's stunning. Was it ICW? IWC? The ICW, right? Danny DeMontos.
When he comes back, that would be great. I say go for H2O. Go for X Brand and H2O. Their run shows around the same time. You'd have a really good. I think you'd get a really big pop when you come out, but I know that they treat you very well. They probably treat you as well as Sage did.
You know, that Crimson Crown Sage's promotion. When I went to shoot it, I mean, half the crowd was XPW people that I used to see at XPW shows, and they started chanting Slava, which to me was so cool. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm just a fucking photographer, but I'm just like, it's really cool because that's the beautiful part about indie wrestling, is that it's a community, and good and bad. If you have a good reputation, people love you. If you have a bad reputation, people don't like you. They either love you or they hate you. And I mean, look at Piss Jug Mike. I mean, that poor kid passes away, and the whole community just gathers, and it's cool to see, because he was a fan, but he was a fan that was part of the family, especially the deathmatch community. And I love that part. And being at Sage's show, I told her, go, look, whenever my schedule lets me, I'm going to be at every show. I unfortunately can't be there on August 4th because I have 6 straight days to shoot in Vegas. But then I see Alex Cologne's going to be there teaching like deathmatch stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, it'd been cool to shoot that, but I just can't. I'm in Vegas shooting. So so I'm down to help Sage in any way. I've been trying to get her and Lou Dark for a year to go and shoot some stuff here in LA, just like away from the ring. Also on the 27th of this month, I'm going to be doing stills for Danger Pro Wrestling, which is Dirty Ron's new promotion. He hit me up about a month ago about it, and I'm all like, I'm down. I shot one of his Theater of Brutality shows, and then I shot a show a few months ago in San Diego, and it was fun. I really like Dirty Ron. He's I met him. I didn't meet him, but I saw him wrestle about 5, 6, 7 years ago at Brews and Bruises, which is there's a brewery in LA, in downtown LA, and I'm really good friends with Luke Hawks, who used to be Alter Boy Luke in XPW. He played Stone Cold Steve Austin on the Rock
Oh
sitcom.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a really buff, bald dude from Louisiana, really good friend of mine. And
Oh,
so he used to do shows out here in LA, so I would go and watch him wrestle. And he has a promotion called Wildcat Sports out of Louisiana. So he invited me to the show, and I'm sitting there watching it. And then some dirty clown comes out with a chihuahua and looks homeless, and he's wrestling the super vegan guy, which is the funniest shit I've ever seen. So now Dirty Ron's got this bag of cocaine, and he's trying to snort it off super vegan's girlfriend's butt, and then cocaine goes everywhere. He's on the ground trying to sniff it all up. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. It was very creative. And then, like there's intermission in indie wrestling where wrestlers come out and sell their merchandise. So all the wrestlers are out there, and I'm sitting there talking to Scorpio Sky, and then I see Dirty. He's now in AEW.
yes. Okay. I think we saw him that night. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so he used to wrestle under a mask at XPW and Rev Pro in LA, and so I'm talking to him, and then I look over, and there's Dirty Ron McDonald's in the ring, and he's got a bunch of burgers, little cheeseburgers from McDonald's, and he's making fat guys in the crowd show their tits, and he throws them a burger. So everybody's shouting, "Show your tits!" And the fat guys are lifting up their shirt to show their man boobs, and he throws them a burger. I thought it was the funniest gimmick. It was the funniest shit. And then I didn't see him for years until XPW came back, and I'm like, "That's that guy. That's the burger guy with cocaine, sniffing cocaine off a vegan." So he asked me, and I was more than happy to do it. And then now I'm looking at him, going like, "Oh my god, this is like XPW reunion show," because there's so many people that just like keep announcing. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna try to bring a few girls to it because there's death matches, and some of these girls really want to check out the death matches. Memories of meeting Su Young. I, I, she's like my new wrestling crush. She's so cool. Her look is amazing. When she was there, when we were backstage, and I was like, "Wow, who's that like pretty woman over there?" And I don't know who she was. And all of a sudden, she's in makeup. I'm like, "Oh shit, that's Su Young." I used to be afraid of her when she was in TNA because she was like so weird.
She's so pretty.
Yeah, and so we've talked about her coming out to Vegas to do some artistic photography. So I'm looking forward to that. So, and she's talented as all hell. That match she had with Sage in Crimson Crown, phew, man, so cool. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. Oh my god, it's like an overload. I'm just glad this.
That's good. That's what we want, right? We want an overload of things.
Yeah. Oh, it's great because it's also very flattering. Just to have people reach out to. I mean, the amount of people that reach out to me on DM on Facebook about wrestling stuff, whew, it's a lot, and it's cool, and it's it is. It's nice to be appreciated, I guess, is the best way of putting it. Nice to be appreciated and not taken for granted. That's all.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's been really good. Like going to other promotions now, I've had a really great time, and at the end of the day, the places I've been getting booked are places I'd want to be. Like I would not want to be somewhere where they're going to listen to some talent or someone on a podcast saying, "Oh, don't do this." Don't come on. We're all adults, and I ran a promotion before, and I get what it takes. I get what it's like. And I would like to see you other places. I'd like to see you at X Brand, and I really I want to see you create more with these girls. You have such cute girls that work there. You've worked with, I mean, so
Yeah, it's kind of exciting because also talking about girls. So this is a little porn plug. So white Gatorade, girls should drink this, and a lot of girls drink it before the scene because they get hydrated and it gives them more spit for the yeah.
like
So
that.
always have these on set if you're gonna do scenes, or even if you want to do something cool with your boyfriend.
Oh, speaking of boyfriends, what does Luke Hawk look like now? Does he look good?
Luke Hawks, he looks amazing. He played Stone Cold Steve Austin on the show, so he's super buff. He's got a little beard. He looks great. His son wrestles. His son went viral a few years ago on ESPN because they had a show at in the mall. They put a ring in the middle of a mall like indoor mall, and he jumped off the top balcony into the ring. And so it was on Sports Center as the top 10 moment of the day or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, he's married. Okay, so anyway,
No, oh yeah, I think he's married now. Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Yeah. Luke is a wonderful dude and very talented. He's also a stunt coordinator, so he's got a lot going on.
yeah. No, I mean it's nice to see when people get out of situations, that weren't pretty good for them, and they go on and thrive, such as yourself. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Every photo I see, it's always a brand new girl. It's like, where is he right now? Is he in Vegas? Is he in LA? Is he on a boat? Is he in Miami?
Yeah, when I went to Miami, it was the first time ever in Miami. It was really cool. As you know, I have to protect myself, so I had a GoPro on my chest the whole time while walking around the streets of Miami, just in case.
You had what with you? Your GoPro?
GoPro was attached to my chest. I just rolled the whole time in case somebody wants to come up and start trouble with me.
And I'm like a psycho. Exactly. There's so many of them out there. It's crazy. Like with triggers in general. Like here's something I just learned. So like 20 years ago, I got rid of 300 pounds. Okay. I put 300 pounds to the curb because it was beating me. It actually beat me so bad. Thanksgiving of 99, I couldn't even spend Thanksgiving with my family because then you're there with like Frankenstein stitches, but I still went ahead and did like this appearance at the Allentown Record Convention.
Mm-hmm.
And 20 years go by, so I'm at Wrestle. So WrestleCade is a really fun event in North Carolina. I'm excited for the one this year, and I get to see Missy Hyatt. So I was there like 7 years ago, and my ex's like girlfriend comes by my table and fucking pushes it like right into me.
Oh.
And I don't care about exes, man. I have no problem walking in a room. I just walk past them like they're dead. Like that's how I treat an ex. I'm friends with two of them the one from high school and the Westie, the Irish mobster, for obvious reasons. I think he has a restraining order against me now, or I have one against him. We go back and forth with these things to keep the entertainment going. So we're in each other's lives now. But he it's like we're cool, but this other one, fucking, could you believe, told Battleground Championship Wrestling not to hire me because he works with them a lot, and out of loyalty to him, they won't. And it's just like, it's such a bitch move when guys do things like that. It's really sad. And that's just that whole thing of being on the spectrum of psychotic. You never know what an ex is going to do to you.
No, 100%. And especially when you have more going on than they do, and it becomes this bitterness that can translate into like resentment and God knows what else. Yeah. The best thing is best revenge is success. You just keep doing your thing and moving on, and one day when you wake up and you go like, that was the best thing that could have happened to me, them being my ex, is when everything explodes. And that goes with relationship, work environment, whatever it may be. The day comes when you wake up and your mind is like click, turned off, and it's like literally taking, like you said, the 300-pound jacket off your back and flourishing and right. You can only go so far carrying something on your back. Either it's 300 pounds or 120 pounds carrying it. You can't. You get stuck walking in quicksand. So you remove that and you just go forward and let them just sink behind you if they want, or do whatever they want. It doesn't matter. But
so fun. But yeah, people from 20 years ago, it's just the weirdest thing when people hold grudges, and it's interesting when you were saying stuff about anabolic before, because I never understood the difference between anabolic, diabolic. I thought they were all the same company. No,
yes, this is a crazy story. So anabolic was the original one. The reason it's called anabolic is because the owner, Chris, used to sell anabolic steroids. So he called it anabolic. That's literally why he called it anabolic. So I start working for anabolic, and there's also diabolic, both in the same giant building. They spent $5.5 million to build. Now, all of a sudden, they don't get along. So anabolic originally was just anabolic, and Greg, who owns diabolic and a few other companies that under the table that I'm sure people don't know about, it was Greg Dunn. And so he was just a sales guy for Chris at Anabolic. Chris helps him start Diabolic. So Chris helps Greg start Diabolic. So they become sister companies, but Chris owns 50% of Diabolic. Now, supposedly, this is what happens. So Chris is going through a divorce. Greg tells him, dude, if you're going through a divorce, your ex-wife is going to take 50% of Diabolic, 50% of your 50%. Just let me buy Diabolic off of you so we don't lose it in this divorce. Well, that was a step one to like go fuck you, Chris type of situation. So they all of a sudden were on the outs, but we're all in the same building. So we're all in this giant hangar type building, and they don't get along. It was crazy. Chris wound up giving seven figures to Greg to move out of that building to have that building just for us. But they were around when money was falling out of the sky, and like, and Chris thought it was. I mean, like, I don't know if you know this. So we shot. Well, it was before I got there, but Anabolic shot a gangbang in the middle of the Coliseum in LA.
What?
The Coliseum. It was a football gangbang. They had 11 guys dressed in full pads,
Oh my God.
fucking two cheerleaders in the middle of the 50-yard line at the Coliseum where USC and the Raiders play. Well,
That is horrible. Oh
yeah,
my
right. So somehow he got in there. They had helicopter shots, all kinds of stuff. Then years later, this is how Chris was. He would never refurbish the DVDs and VHS tapes in the warehouse for whatever reason. So the athletic commission, the Coliseum commission finds out there was a gangbang that was shot there years ago. It was done right after 9/11. So whatever that year was, 2001, I think. And so now they're trying to figure out who did it. It's in the news. Oh my God, there was a porno shot in the middle of the Coliseum. And shit you not, no copies of the movie in the warehouse. So couldn't even make a profit off of it. You couldn't make shit off of it because free advertising for this amazing gangbang. But back then, like, Anabolic and Diabolic had some serious pull. It's shooting
Yeah.
gangbangs like that, shooting I mean, in the gangbangs now it's like 5-on-1, and people are like, it's a gangbang. Back then it was at least 12 guys. In your case, it was a little more than
A little more, yeah. Dude, you don't call 12 or 11 people a gangbang. It's like past 300. Seriously. Some girls said she did 6,000. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? How do you do 6,000 guys? And what was on TikTok, I don't believe shit I see on TikTok.
No.
I believe that Ricky Rackman from Headbangers Ball was on TikTok telling people all this stuff. This guy said, oh, I'm never going to see USC games the same anymore. Who are the girls in the gangbang? I'm curious.
I don't even know, but I think if you like just Google Anabolic football gangbang, it'll probably show up, I imagine, because he did have legal paperwork to shoot there. I don't know who signed the location release or how he got in there, but it was never, as far as I know, it was never pulled off the website. So I want a helicopter but yeah. Well, these days you don't even need a helicopter; you need a drone, and you're good to go.
For the amount of guys. Who is the most difficult porn star? This is coming from Paul. Who I already know one of the answers, but who is the most difficult porn star to shoot in the adult industry? So you can go back years if you want.
Oh, I got one right after, and she's dead, so I could say whatever the fuck I want. Savannah Bond. So
really?
she, oh my gosh. So the two times I dealt with her, she was gorgeous blonde British girl. First scene, we book her and Carly Parker. Jeez, I can't really remember these names with Mark Ashley, and it was the box cover shoot. No, was it Mark Ashley? I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was Mark Ashley. But anyways, it was a box cover shoot. It was two hot blondes with big boobs, and this one guy, it might have been Rico Strong. I don't remember. Anyways, this girl, it shows up drunk, right? She shows up to set drunk. So I was like, oh my God, is she drunk or is she, what's her deal, right? Like, 'cause she was just kind of out of it. The other girl tells me Savannah never went to sleep. She was partying all night and just came straight to set. So I'm like, oh, seriously, this is what's happening here? So she goes with the photographer. The photographer comes to me a few minutes later, and it's actually Ken Dark, who's now the Big Brazzers director. Back then, he was our photographer at Anabolic. And he goes, hey, man, she won't do any pictures. So, like, I took a few pictures. She said it's enough. So I come up, so I go, okay, start rolling with a behind the scenes camera because we need proof of this. So I walk up to her and he's recording, and she looks at him. She goes, "Are you recording me?" And we go, "No, he's just holding the camera." She goes, "Okay." All right. And so she proceeds to say, "It's taking too long." Mind you, we'll be there for half an hour. She goes, "It's taking too long. I'm going home." And she grabs all her luggage and she leaves. So now she ruins the box cover shoot. So She leaves. We shoot Carly with the male talent, and after the scene, Carly's looking for her stuff. Oh, it's not there because Savannah took all her stuff and all of Carly's stuff and left. So now Carly's there naked, just covered in jizz in her lingerie. And so I had to give her my Ray Nitschke Green Bay Packers jersey to wear home, and I never saw it again. But the other time she was shooting with Stephen French, and you'll get girls that you have to literally um, carry a camera with you the whole time for proof that this is what's going on set. And I've seen directors actually save their careers by having a security camera rolling the whole time, because you just never know. One, it's a safety for the model, so the director won't do anything stupid, but it's also safety for the director, so the model won't do anything stupid. So this time we actually were shooting her, and she's shooting with Stephen French. And back then, I mean, Gonzo back then was pretty energetic. We didn't call it rough; we called it energetic because rough sounds worse, So she's doing the scene with Stephen French, and he's going whatever speed he's going, and she goes, "Stop! You're going too fast." And he goes, "Okay, sorry." Gets back to it, and she goes, "You do it again, I'm gonna punch you in the face." And he goes, "You punch me in the face, I'll punch you in the face back." And I'm like, and I'm just like, "Oh my fucking god, this is like not happening here." So she took a break, went to the bathroom, came back. I don't know what she did in the bathroom. She came back and she was fine, but she was a tough one to deal with. I've only shot her twice. That first scene, we wound up getting a kill fee from her agent, but she passed away years ago. I mean, she was gorgeous, but she was. No. Oh, Savannah Golden. Yeah, not Savannah Bond. No, Savannah. Wait. Savannah Bond. Savannah Gold's the new one. Wait, which one's the new one? Not
They
the
said
new one. Not the
Savannah.
new one. But the one from like 15 years ago. Savannah Bond's the new one. Savannah Gold, I think. Right? Yeah. Savannah Bond's the new one. No, not Savannah Bond. Savannah Gold. Gold. Let's see who else. Male talented. Male talented. I stopped using when I find out they're like abusive towards women. There's been a few that I found out and instantly on my no list. Yeah, but for most part, especially now, we get to pick and choose who we shoot with Alterotic. So if somebody shows any red flags, or the best part about talking to models before meeting them and shooting with them is that you kind of you could see where their energy is and where they stand. And some are like incredibly gung-ho, some are just kind of like, okay, well, I see a little flag here, and we'll just be careful, or maybe just not. um for instance, today we had drama on Twitter because a model I talked to a year and a half ago decided to attack another model and
What?
attach me to this tweet, and I'm like, why are you attaching me to the tweet? Yeah, so I had to like reach out to this model. I'm like, hey, do not tag me or Alterotic in your battle with this girl. And instead of her stopping, she screenshots my DM and posts it. I'm like, oh my god, what is wrong with you, woman? Oh my god. So I think she eventually pulled it down because I went and complained on Twitter, but I had nothing to do with any whatever beef she's got with this girl, and it was just kind of ugly. Well, what are the red flags?
Drugs?
Once, gosh, what are the red flags? Honestly, first one, I have a civilian boyfriend. There's the biggest
Yeah.
fucking red flag because here's what happens. If your civilian boyfriend's paying all your bills and dictating you what you can and can't shoot, that means he's got total control over you. Boop, boop. Because the day he steps away, you're fucked, your career's fucked. Or if he's letting you shoot a lot, then keep doing it. But the problem is, oh, I have a boyfriend pays on my bills. Okay, well then at some point he's going to stop, and then what? I mean, like, you're trying to build a brand. So I guess if you're coming in an industry with a boyfriend, it's a tough one because all the boyfriends say the right things until it comes down to them being the model being on set and the boyfriend's not there, and then they get a bunch of texts. I've seen a lot of that. Not recently, but years ago. There was so much of it. But
The suitcase pimps, you mean? I call them suitcase pimps.
yeah, suitcase pimps is exactly what they are. Um, Other red flags. Gosh, I
Drugs.
don't know. I mean, when you're talking to somebody and you feel like they're doing it for the wrong reasons, like for lifestyle, to get laid, it shouldn't be that. This is a business, and this is a really tough business. One of the models I talked to today, she was talking about it. She goes, "It's people think it's an easy job, and it's not because these days, like the paychecks are not giant like they used to be. So you have a lot of paychecks. So you're constantly, I have to post on TikTok, I have to post Twitter, on Instagram, my clip store, my OnlyFans, this. So it's a full time. It really is a full time job if you really care about your brand. Um, so when you hear somebody going like, "Oh, I like to fuck," I don't care if you like to fuck. Do you like to make money? Do you like to build a brand? That's what matters. Um, and I've shot content creators. I can't even call them porn stars. I can't even call them performers. They're content creators who are literally like, I just like to have sex. Oh, well, cool. That just means you don't care about the quality of your work because you're just shooting with everybody and anybody. So your brand is so watered down. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So there's a lot, and then when you hear a model talking about like her brand and talking about why she chose her stage name and what she wants to shoot and how she wants to shoot it, it's those are the things that are the green flags. And I look mostly for green flags, especially with new models. Like when I talked to one yesterday, I literally told her a couple of things and she blew her mind. She was like, "I never even thought about this. I never even thought about this." I'm like, "Yeah, I've been doing this for like 80 years. I have experience doing this." So and the ones who are willing to listen, that's important. Listening and learning. So
Yeah, that's a skill these days, listening and learning. But some people, it's just some people are mixed in with things, and whether there's addiction or whatever that's attached to it, that just opens up a whole other set of stuff. So we're heading towards the end of our time, and
mhm.
then I know that you have a big announcement to make, and I know you're not pregnant. That's
No,
physically
it's not a
impossible.
big announcement. It's kind of like an emotional announcement.
What is it?
I I'm gonna tell it as the last thing because you what? Huh?
Are you going through a sex change?
Definitely not going through a sex. No, no, no. This beard is not going anywhere. Um, no. So, yeah. So, I are we? Can I say that it's not a good thing. It's a kind of a
Just
bad thing.
say it. You
It's
have
just
to.
not.
Now
Yeah.
now everyone's curious. Oh my lord. Oh god.
Okay.
I
So,
might have to drag it out of you.
you don't have. So you remember my little cat.
Oh
She got
no.
run over by a car yesterday.
No, that's
Yeah,
horrible. The
she
little
was.
black and white cat?
Yeah, the little. Well,
Oh,
actually, the day before because she didn't come home at night, and I'm like, all right. Like, I usually open the door. She comes in the morning, or if she doesn't come in at night in the morning, she comes in. She didn't come in, so I was like, let me walk around, look at everybody's backyard. Let me go to the front street and look on the street to see if there's any cat body parts, or maybe the cat's just like
oh god.
nothing. Didn't see anything, and then the neighbor told us that that they saw boop boop boop. I'm like, well, at least she went fast, and she lived on the street because I mean she loved being outside. So I'm like, well, you know, but
Cats shouldn't be outside, people. I'm sorry. That's you. Like I would
yeah,
never let Enzo in the street. I don't even let anyone look at him. Poor Xena. Oh, Xena, that's so sad what happened. I don't like this. This is like this really I don't know. It's depressing now.
I have two of my dead cats tattooed on my wrist. Maybe I should get the. I don't have her paw, so
What do you
uh,
have on your wrist with the cats?
my two dead cat paws from my two cats died in 2020, so I had them tattooed on my wrists. Their
Well, then you
paws.
got to get the third one of the current cat that just passed away. I'm so sorry that happened because I remember I have great memories with Xena. And Xena would just come up to me and sit down next to me. He would hiss at me because Xena
Because that's
wasn't a person.
that was her. She wants to sit next to me, but on her terms. And so I believe she probably tried to attack the car, knowing her.
Yeah. Well,
So
here's the thing. Next time you get a cat, make sure you don't let it outside,
oh
please.
no no
Don't.
no no! This cat was way too feral. Like she was way too much, and I'm not getting an animal for a while because I've tried to figure out how I could travel with her because I'm gone so much, like going to Vegas back and forth. Because I just felt bad leaving her behind, and I was like, well, maybe I could get a cat sitter. So now with her gone, I don't want to put another animal through that, and I'm too busy. I'm too busy. I can't even really have a fish. I can't even have fish. I'm just way too busy. I have a ghost. The ghost is still here.
Yeah, I don't like your ghost in the apartment at all. I never liked her. I always felt weird because I remember one day I was talking to you and I felt someone like touch my hair.
Mhm.
and I thought it was the cat. The cat was next to you. I'm like, oh shit, there's a ghost in here.
Yeah.
There
Well,
really is.
she usually would right there. That's what she would be, right there. So at some point, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, talk speaking of ghosts. So yeah, real quick, why don't you just throw your socials out there in case there are people who do watch your restream that haven't followed you that want to follow you and see more of your work with these gorgeous girls and all the wrestling stuff.
On Twitter, it's I am Ivan Triple X, and on Instagram, it's I am Sliven, IAM Sliven. It's Slava and Ivan mixed together because Slava is my real name, Ivan's my director name.
Mhm.
And on YouTube, we started a YouTube channel called Screwed Squad, which is basically like reality based videos we do with the girls that we shoot, just to like show people they're not just a piece of meat. They're personalities, they're creative people, and so yeah, and all the stuff I shoot is on alterotic.com. We shoot cool stuff. We just keep winning, keep getting nominations, building a big family of creators, and it's a lot. And then a lot of wrestling stuff coming up. I'm excited. Oh, by the way, I had a wrestler that wrestles in AEW tell me that he's going to put a good word in for me. I don't know if it's going to do anything, but we'll see. So
I hope so. I mean, you met Jerry Lynn that night when we were there, so let's hope. You're. I think you'll be in more places by the end of this year. I think that's going to be for a few of us. So
yes,
a
yes.
lot of us, went through a lot this past few years, and now it's just time to rebrand, refocus. Not even rebrand, just refocus and reset. It's a great reset.
Yeah, sometimes removing things from your life is for the best, and bad energy is just bad energy. Just nobody needs that. It doesn't, or at least energy that's draining. We're all heading to the same place, a coffin. So why travel to that coffin and be miserable? Travel to that coffin and have a good time with people that you enjoy being around, and that's just how it should be.
That's like what I say whenever I got those drip infusions. Whenever they're putting the needle in, I make it very dramatic. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to die. We're all going to die. It's like, yeah, we are. Just, you're not going to die from getting an IV infusion. Just chill out. I hate those needles, but I love getting those strips. So yeah, so make sure to check out Ivan. Go on to his Instagram, go onto his Twitter. I'll post it on the restream. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And let's make it sooner than later to catch up in person.
Yes, yes, yes. Next time you come back, we need to do pictures,
Yes.
and we just need to hang out and catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yes,
I'm sorry again about the cat, and stay in touch and have a great evening.
yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
So that was our guest for the evening. Thank you so much for watching the restreams of these interviews. If there's something that you've missed or you want to watch, go ahead and just subscribe to my YouTube station. Slava is going a lot of places. And yeah, the hockey jersey is his trademark amongst a lot of things. So takeaways, which we just started doing a few weeks ago, takeaways from this Monday. It's sad when an animal passes. Do not let your pets outside if you can avoid that. And no, I'm not sick in the head for thinking that AI cats can actually work out at the gym, because they do work out there and they can. And most importantly, rid yourself of whatever toxicity there is out there. Even if it's someone or something, everyone has their own process for getting rid of it, whatever it is, whether it's a daily thing, a monthly thing, slowly but surely you just drain the toxicity out of you into wherever it's supposed to be. And life gets better. Just because one door shuts doesn't mean another one will not open. It does open. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And when things do happen that aren't going your way, don't ever ask yourself, why is this happening to me? It's always, what is this trying to teach me? And, usually you get the answers in some form or another of what it's trying to teach you, whether it's a new career change, a new, line of friends or whatever. So yeah, that's it. I enjoyed tonight, and I enjoyed seeing every one of you back here again, meeting some new people on here. And, I'm sure you guys will be seeing more of Slava around. Yeah, negative people hate themselves because they feel like they got to put that out there to others. And it's true. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. And, when I end up treating people or putting them out there with a long spoon, I'll still deal with them, but just on a lengthier spoon that I don't really need to deal with them. And, always be grateful to those around you, because you could be one day in a hospital in a foreign country and someone just helps you out of the kindness of their heart. And people like that are the ones you got to remember, not the ones that are there for, when you come back in whatever shape, using you as a way to get over on others or however it may be. Maybe this is just too cryptic, but I'll just keep it cryptic for now. Yeah, crazy with a K. So stay positive, everyone. And I will see you next week. Don't forget this Wednesday's guest on Crazy Train podcast that drops every Wednesday on iTunes is Sherry Curry from The Runaways. So have a good evening. And of course, let's end this the same way we always do. Stay frosty.